First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Gwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone, and to include even the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Brakatham to the overall elect, whom this gospel is for, and it's your brother, Laban. And I just want to go over a few things on this article and then go to something else that I had in mind after reading this article. And without further ado, let's get into it. UN warns 95% of Gaza's farmland destroyed as Israel's siege triggers famine crises. The UN warns that 95% of Gaza's agricultural land is now unusable due to Israeli attacks, pushing 500,000 Palestinians towards starvation. Over 80% of Gaza's cropland is damaged, with only 4.6% still cultivable after deliberate destruction of greenhouses, wells, and farms. FAO reports 71% of greenhouses and 83% of agricultural wells are destroyed, collapsing Gaza's ability to feed itself and creating a man-made famine. Famine is now imminent, with 500,000 facing catastrophic hunger and over 1 million surviving on less than 1 meal a day due to Israel's blockade. Despite global outcry, aid is blocked, and Israeli airstrikes continue killing civilians and deepening Gaza's humanitarian disaster. And I want to get to the point in reading this over here, which prompted me to speak on something else that I'm going to bring about in this video here. So, as this reads over here, famine as a weapon. The destruction of farmland is not collateral damage. It is a calculated strategy by systematically erasing Gaza's ability to produce food. Israel has weaponized starvation in a clear violation of international law. And you see what this does. This makes Israel look like on how the world has always viewed them, as a bunch of cruel ass, hypocritical ass people, you know? And this is the reason, as we can now widely see, why the world for so many years have been hating on these people, you know? It's all out there now. So now they can no longer play the victim card, being the victimizers at the same time. The cover's been blown. So, no more sympathy for this pseudo story that they've been, reiterating throughout these years of what happened to them. And I'm not going to use the buzzword because I don't want to get my video taken down. But, you should know what I mean where it concerns these 1948ers and what they've been always pushing for all this time, so that the world can have sympathy for them. And while we sympathize with them, they can just be as wicked as they want to be and create problems in the world and make people's lives a living hell. So anyway, what this whole thing reminded me of is how they treated us during the first Roman Jewish wars, which was 2,000 years ago. And the siege of Jerusalem was so bad, primarily is explained in the Josephus book, where it's read in page 884. It reads about how the Israelites, the ones that were stuck in Jerusalem at the time, they resorted to eating inanimate things like their girdles, the leather from their shoes, and sorted animals, probably like, dead animals that were laid out, old hay. And just to include too, there was a woman by the name of Mary, and she resorted to eating her own son. So it's very reminiscent on how, when you look at this story here, you can relate it to how they treated this in 70 AD, showing and only proving that the people that's in the land right now and that whole state isn't even biblical. And number two, which really should have been number one, as I should have said, they ain't the people of the Bible. All right, they're not the real Israel that the Bible speaks about, because the way that they're operating is just like the Romans operated against our people, but they're doing it to the people of Gaza, you know. So again, man, I mean, the cover's been blown. They've been hiding for so many years. For if I'm correct, maybe 78 years now. 77 years they've been hiding behind our identity. Excuse me, I'm a bit tired, so my words ain't gonna come out right, man. In some cases, anyway. But beginning with the elder apostles, we've exposed this man for who he truly is, and now the world has even exposed bit by bit who this man really is. But the true expose came from us, because we've brought this information out as to who they really are biblically and what they're going to be doing in these last days. And so they're doing it, you know. And as well as just to include, you know, if you want to know the nation that you're dealing with, you got to know their history. And it's very well set and clear that the so-called white man is indeed the evil and the devil that the Bible speaks about. And he never fails to prove that point. Like, no one does it like these people do, where it concerns wickedness and cruelty. All right. So let's begin by reading this over here. Psalm 71 and verse 4. Deliver me, O my power, out of the hand of the wicked, out of the hand of the unrighteous and cruel man. And that's what we need the most. We need to be delivered from the hands of this man. I mean, if this man is capable of saying that we gonna block the sun, and just overall get a kick out of making people's lives a living hell, I mean, then wickedness has no bounds with these people. All right. So we can only but imagine what Jacob's trouble is going to look like. We can clearly see of what Daniel was saying in the book of Daniel 12, that we're going to come into a time since there was a nation. But even in that same time, will there be deliverance? You know? And Esau's really going to show who he really is on the maximum before he loses his dilapidated world that he wants to continue to rule on, you know, and try to revive, as he likes to call it, the New World Order, or as they newly call it now, the Great Reset. But that ain't gonna happen, okay? But the thing of it is, these devils, they're gonna really express their true nature, and it's gonna have to take the spirit of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai to triumph over all of that, you know. And it's all the doings of the Heavenly Father, as well as we know. I mean, everyone has a part to play in this story called this life, which is his story. This is where you get the term history from, you know, which this is just the Most High doing his thing at best, you know, fulfilling his will with the souls of men, as it is written. Man's goings of the Lord, and how can a man then understand his own ways? And as well as even as it is also written that the Lord have created all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So Esau is going to be instrumental in bringing in the day of evil. All right. But while all of that evil is happening, we are going to be delivered because we kept the word. All right. So the word cruel is the word chamataza, which means to be leavened, be sour, to be leavened, to taste something leavened, to be admitted, grieved, to be cruel, oppressed, be ruthless. Check this out. To be red, which red is the color of sin. And guess what? Who's bearing the red look? Esau is, which shows that they're the people of sin. All right? And they're going to come to the height of their sin, and that's when the Heavenly Father's going to smack their asses out of power by bringing his son back on the earth. You know? So, yeah, and what they did was they formulated this group called Hamas. And we know that this group wasn't naturally formulated by, as they have it over here, they call it the Islamic Resistance Movement, right? When you go into, if I'm correct, when you go into this Hamas group back in the day, what's been found out is that this has been actually formulated by the same people that are against them Ghazi and Saddam. I'm gonna put it that way instead. I'm gonna tread very carefully because I don't want to get my video taken down, but that's where Hamas originates from. Okay, and what prompted me to speak on this, because that's where this word comes in. So that's what these devils have been doing for all this time, man, projecting evil on other nations while they actually do the evil. It's the Muslims this and it's the Muslims that, and you gotta watch out for this group and that group, Al Qaeda, Hamas, this and that. And when you really check it out, all of these groups that we've been warned about, there's another group too. There's another group as well, ISIS and all of this stuff. So here it is. We're supposed to look at these people as the evil, but the real evil is at play, doing as they may. Which are these Edomites, man? That's how this devil gets down, man. What is it? Psalms 121 and verse 1. A song of degrees. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heavens and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved, and he that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. And here's the point. In verse 7, the Lord shall preserve thee from all evil, and he shall preserve thee. Excuse me, man. I'm just a bit tired. Let me read this again. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil, and he shall preserve thy soul. So just like I've mentioned, when all of this evil is being had, we're going to be preserved from it. Why? Because we would have done this. Which the point is in verse 6. Proverbs 4 and verse 6. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. And that's where I'm going to end it right there. So with that, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar, Quadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone. Shalom.